Well, welcome to the Millbrook Railroad YouTube channel. We're at Montreal Live Steamers today. Checking out some of the action on the ground and also on the Highline. I'm going to show you some of the Highline stuff.
Welcome to the New Jersey Live Steam Club in beautiful downtown Holliston, Massachusetts.
So what have we got here? We've got a CP Jubilee.
Built by Stan Angel, 1945.
1945, huh? So the number, is that the build date or the completion date, 2945?
29 was the model number of the Jubilees of this class.
Okay.
They never had a 45.
Ah.
45 is when it was built.
Okay.
Montreal member, Stan Angel. Two L's. Angel with two L's.
So is this a copper boiler?
Yep. Under the care and operation of Mr. Leggett.
Look at that. Even standing still, it looks fast. With those bullet-shaped marker
The only one you'll
lights.
see is in Steamtown. 2929.
Oh, yes. I never knew they were rare. I grew up right next to Steamtown, which kind of fostered my love for this stuff. So we got a Rob Roy over here, beautifully polished. I mean, why hide all the beautiful brass work, right, under paint? Personally, I like to paint them, but sometimes it's nice to see a polished brass locomotive. And when you do such a good job on the brass work, why not show it off? Why hide it under paint, right? Rob Roy is a LBSC design. LBSC being Curly Lawrence. So it's nearly a 100-year-old design. Goes back to the early days of the live steam hobby. A lot of these engines do. Beautiful Hudson. Looks like a CP design. It might be Grand Trunk. Hard to tell sometimes. Canadian cab, though. All-weather cab. But over here, we've got a South African Garrett. This is what, 3.5-inch gauge? So we got 3.5-inch and 4 3/4-inch gauge on this line. Let's keep looking at the things here in the steaming bays. Hopefully we'll see this running later, this and some of the other engines. I'd love to see that Garrett running around the track. Nice looking old Grand Trunk combine here. This is, I think, 4 3/4. Yeah, that's 4 3/4-inch gauge. This is the R.L. Smith over there. It looks like 4 3/4. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, doing just fine.
Steve Bertina built this car.
Oh, okay.
And it's, I forget what you said the plans were. I think in model railroader it says Sierra coach.
Oh, okay.
Petticoat Junction combine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why doesn't that fit in there? That's why. Here it goes.
So 4 3/4-inch gauge coach, 4 3/4-inch gauge engine, 3.5-inch gauge riding car.
With compromise drawbars.
Compromised drawbars.
Otherwise known as. Oops.
This looks like part of a hinge.
It's a flat gusset.
Yeah.
This was, I need something fast. and it already had holes in the right places. So we grind that side off, grind that side off,
Fair enough.
and it works.
It's a master class in get her done.
When I was a kid, we used to build a lot of bicycles and stuff. We, go garbage picking and get bikes, and so you'd get a coarse thread nut and a fine thread axle, and the nut would go on the axle with a pipe wrench, and we coined that metricanization. We're going to metricanize that nut. Out of come the big wrench, and you were good to go.
Now that's a master class in get her done.
Yeah, we did some hairy shit. I'm amazed we survived some of that. It's fun though.
Yeah.
It was a good time. We got garbage picked up twice a week on Staten Island, and people back then, they were throwing away bicycles, slot car sets, model trains, printers. So you had all kinds of parts, and it was like a treasure trove of stuff in the trash. Not anymore.
So tell me about this engine.
I got this from Murray Bennell's estate, and it was built by a guy named Rex Smith from Port Rowan, Ontario. I believe in the mid-50s. And I just found out this weekend that this was available with castings and drawings. I thought it was a freelance that Rex had done, but it was commercially available at one point. And the drivers on it are smaller than the ones that it was designed with. Rex thought the drivers that he came with were too big, and it wouldn't have enough stuff. So he put the smaller drivers on it. It's a good running engine.
It's got a very long stance.
Yep.
For such a small engine.
Well, if you put the bigger drivers on it, I think it would cut that illusion down because it would fill up all that empty space.
Yeah. Yeah, the smaller drivers give it that long look.
Murray had started to build another one before he died, but he had made, I don't know if the drivers are cast or he machined them from solid, but they were the correct size, and they're almost another inch in diameter bigger than these wheels. So I got the drivers, the cylinders, and the pilot, and that was as far as Murray got with it. But it's different. You don't see a lot of old-time looking engines like this.
That's for sure.
That's what I liked about it.
Copper boiler?
I believe so. I never really got into it and messed with it and tested it. But it doesn't leak, so don't fix it.
Fair enough.
But
if it does start to leak, put a little, I don't know, oatmeal in there or something.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
It's surprisingly, for its size though, it's surprisingly heavy. Brum bump.
Sounds like a tie banger over there.
Yep, somebody's rearranging the ballast.
Yeah.
It was him. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Don't record that.
That's what
Too late.
That's what your audience wants. Hey, Larry!
Worst things have happened.
This is one of the finest hamburgers I've ever had.
You running her today, Jim?
Yeah, we finally cleaned it from last night. Now we got the lubricator working. What's that clicking noise now? It's a bomb.
It clicks. Is it supposed to click?
I hope so. Watch him finish up, and it was covered in oil. Like just, I'll be. Well, Bernie's running it. He wants to run in the daytime. So. Okay.
Why would anybody want to run in the daytime?
I don't know. Hot as hell.
See what you're doing.
Get a shot of Don
Last night was beautiful.
Absolutely. And over here on the 7 1/4 inch gauge, I've got a 10-wheeler. Is that an American? 440. Got an electric box cab there. Another little 240 right there, and Don Pescance with his broken New Haven unit. It'll be working again in no time. And a mogul over here. So going around this lovely little track here, Montreal Live Steamers. Ground line's a lot of fun. They are not spring switches though, they're stub switches, so at least down here they're stub switches. So I have to throw them manually. You can't just go through them. Some are stickier than others. Hopefully away we go. At least to the next switch anyway. Maybe further. To the next switch and beyond. Oh good, the iron's aligned for us. Now, the big question is this a spring switch or not? It is a spring switch. I can see there's a spring on the throw. The points bounce over nicely. Okay. This is a nice extensive Highline track sitting on concrete piers. The Highline track is basically running along a fence. It requires a certain amount of balance. But it's the best way to have fun with those little 3.5-inch gauge and 4 3/4-inch gauge locomotives. Oh, you can put it on the ground too, but it's Highline running is fun. I mean, it's all fun, to be honest. Really breaking any land speed records. Not today, anyway. Maybe we'll try that at some point. Bonjour. Look at that little McCormick Farmall Cub. Love it. reason I'm taking the 17 everywhere, or two reasons. One, this is one of the places I always wanted to get Tony to go with me, so we'll take his engine. And the other reason, I'm waiting on a router table part so I can do body work on the 70. The haze from all the steam engines firing up. I think we're gonna get some steam action a little bit later, both on the Highline and on the ground line. Montreal Live Steamers is one of those places that you go where the conversation is sometimes more interesting than the running with the history of this club. I'm not saying the running isn't interesting, but the conversation is absolutely fascinating. So I usually spend more time conversing than running when I come up here. This club was over 90 years old. It is the oldest surviving live steam club in North America. And certainly the oldest in Canada. So we were running on steel rails. This is a groovy track system. Steel rails with notches cut in the ties. The rails are steel bar stock. Looks like 1 inch wide bar stock, 1/4 inch thick. Or something like that. So it never really goes out of gauge. When the ties rot out, they just break. And if you have enough that are still in place, then the strength of the steel holds it up. we are back where we started, basically. And back where we first entered the main line. Right back at Ouellette Junction. So that's a 7 1/4 inch gauge track of the Montreal Live Steamers. Let's see if we can get a ride on the 4 3/4 inch gauge and 3 1/2 inch gauge dual gauge Highline. Gotta get some more people out on it though. And Rob appears to have lost steam.
Yeah, I got steam, I just don't want to lose it.
Ah. Well, this is a tough grade, isn't it?
No, it's not too bad.
Roll around here. I see Jim's got the blower on full blast. I think I've got a third one out on the Highline. So far, 2 folks from Pioneer Valley Live Steamers, and oh, here's Don, also from Pioneer Valley Live Steamers. Have a very active Highline group. Look like you're having a blast, Don. I mean, it's hard to not smile when you're on these little things. Kind of rail fanning while we're running on the rails. I think right now we're the only ones on the ground line. Adding water to the boiler.
I missed it. I had it for a second there, and then it got away from me. It's dangerously low right now. Oh, we're at the very bottom.
About that screw anymore, we took it out.
Oh, is that why it was hit in the...
Well, there was a screw, and stick it up, and if the stack went over, it wouldn't let it come back.
Well, thanks for riding along on this trip to Montreal Live Steamers. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe. And if you'd like early access to these videos and more, you can go to patreon.com/Millbrook Railroad, where paid members get early access and other exclusive content. And of course, if you want more information on locomotives like this one right here, the ES2500, you can go to millbrookrailroad.com. Well, thanks for watching today's video. We'll see you in the next one.